Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday evening Parent Academy webinar session. Thank you for joining us. And again, we are excited to have you as audience listeners and participants. I am Tina Folston Hayes, the Parent Academy Specialist for Educational Equity and Outreach for the Alachua County Public Schools. And I welcome you this evening. Tonight, we will receive some helpful information from our guest speaker, Ms. Jennifer Lowe, who is coming to us from Children's Episcopal Services. And just before we begin, I would like to review a few housekeeping elements. Please keep your microphones on mute through the duration of the presentation. We will be monitoring the questions and will respond accordingly. Please use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of the webinar window. And please note, all Parent Academy webinars are closed captioned and recorded for re-review for a later date or for anyone that could not tune in live tonight. Your questions will be answered at the conclusion of each session. If there is a specific need for any personal conversations, the Parent Academy's email address is parentacademy@gm.sbac.edu. And we will get to those questions and requests for additional information forwarded to the proper community member or Alachua County Public School staff. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Jennifer. Hello, Ms. Jennifer, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Hello, I am so glad to be here again.
Thank you.
I want to be on a beach somewhere like that little background you got.
Me too.
Almost. We keep, few
Yes,
more days.
ma'am. Just a few.
All right, so let me get started here. All right, so now it's not going to let me show it now. There it goes. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right. So as you can tell, we're going to talk about, those wonderful feelings that those little humans have that we have. When we have those kiddos that are just absolutely having some emotional breakdowns. First of all, it is okay to have big feelings. It's okay for them to cry. It's okay for them to fuss, to have, the anger. It's okay for them to go through these feelings. Biggest thing is we tell them it's not okay to hurt others or yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight is how do we deal with those feelings? All right. So the skill of empathy is something that we discuss quite a bit with our conscious discipline curriculum that we use. And we're trying to teach children how to empathize. So you're telling them, I see you, I feel you, I hear you. So that this builds and repairs those bonds that children feel so that they can feel seen, safe, and soothed. It's called DNA. It's when we describe, we name, and we acknowledge all of the feelings that they're having. So we process through dealing with children's emotional states first so that they can receive our talking, our teaching, and maybe even consequences that they'll have to deal with. So we try to help them through that with empathy. So feeling how they feel. I understand you're upset. I see that you're upset. You know, that's what we have to do is show that empathy first. So the DNA process provides us with a concrete formula for providing empathy in order to help children manage their emotions. D is describing, N is naming, and A is acknowledging. So what does it look like and sound like? So you're describing exactly what you see. Your face is going like this. You're naming when the child makes eye contact, name the feeling. You seem angry. Use a questioning tone so the children can correct you if you misinterpret their feeling. I've many a time, go up to a kid and they're crying. Oh, you seem so sad. I'm not sad. Can you tell me how you feel? I'm mad. Oh, okay. So then we go through, oh, so you're mad. So then you acknowledge their desire. You wanted a turn and didn't know how to ask. If you have no idea what happened, ask, did something happen? So we encourage children effectively with noticing. So what is noticing? The power of noticing just shifts our focus from negative to more positive behaviors. You're naming and describing the things that they're going through. So you're really in tune to them at that point, not saying, oh, stop that crying. I'll give you something to cry for. I know that I've made that mistake as a parent before. um, so actually talking to the children and seeing how they're reacting to that emotion and actually discussing it more so that you can start to focus on more positive behaviors and things that you want to see. So when we notice children, we describe their actions out loud. Our focus is on the effort, not the outcome. You picked up your toys, you walked over and put them on the shelf. You did it. You cleaned your room. You carried your cup to the table by holding it with 2 hands. So by noticing children and what they're doing, we're focusing on those positive behaviors. I think about that every time. It is 21 times to make a habit. So you're right, it's not going to happen immediately. And I think that's where we as parents sometimes fall short, is that we think we want something immediate and automatic, and it's not going to happen. It's not the way it works. We have to take time and practice being parents. So this has to take time and practice as well. So 3 ways that you can notice is just by basic noticing, and then noticing to encourage compliance, and then noticing to encourage kindness and helpfulness. All right. So 5 steps for helping our children manage those big feelings. Number 1, remind yourself that it's okay. It's never okay to hurt others. Number 2, taking 3 deep breaths or counting slowly to 10. Big thing is take a deep breath. If you take 3 of them, you're counting to 10 anyway. All right. So number 3, use my words to say how I feel and what I wish would happen. That's a big thing we have to encourage children to do, is to use those words. They sometimes just out of anger, they'll hit, or if they want something, they're going to grab it. We have to remind them, if you want something, you have to say, may I use it? Or if someone takes something from you, you don't hit, you say, I don't like it when you hit me. Number 4 is to ask for help. Always, always, always ask or tell your children that they can ask you for help. Number 5, take time to calm down. And that's what the 3 deep breaths do. But at the very end, you have to have time for everything to settle and for everything to calm. So recognizing emotions. They've got to know what happy and sad and angry, worried. They have to know these emotions. So to actually show your children with your own face what these emotions are helps them. So always remember, when we verbally notice children engaging in positive behaviors, we train our brain to see the positive. Do I have any questions? So I think the biggest thing to take away from tonight is Give yourself mercy, give your children mercy, because it takes time and it takes practice to work through everything that happens with your children. Um, to share those emotions with them. If you're sad, it's okay to cry. Even boys, please, Lord, please let your children cry, to let them know that it's okay to have these emotions. It's not okay to stay there, but it is okay to have emotions and show how to get through those emotions through naming and describing what's going on. Miss Tina, did we have any questions? And I'm so sorry about finishing so soon.
Hey guys, it's Brandy Evans, Geminis Head Start Intervention Specialist. And today I wanted to share with you the skill of noticing. And I'm sure that some of you are noticing some different behaviors in your children, maybe some negative attention-seeking behaviors, or your children, siblings are fighting more than usual. So I wanted to share with you this skill of noticing, which is commenting when your children are making positive choices or being helpful. So we want to reinforce the positive behaviors by commenting when we see them making comment, or when we see them making positive behaviors. That way we keep seeing them and they know that they're not going unnoticed. So it works like this. We start off with their name, and then we say what was helpful. And then we follow up with saying why it was helpful. And then we want to finish with that was helpful, or that was thoughtful, or that was kind. So some of the examples that we've had in my house the last few days are this one. I noticed one of my children tried to make herself cereal. So she spilled the milk on the floor. Well, she tried to clean it up. So I followed up with, Haley, you cleaned up your milk so that no one would slip. That was really helpful. So I stated her name and I stated what she did and why it was helpful. So she cleaned her milk up and it was helpful because no one would slip and fall. So another example that I want to give you is, let's say you notice your children coloring and one is sharing them a marker with the other. So I would say, Lily, you gave Haley a turn with a marker so she could have a turn. That was really kind. So I'm following up her behavior of sharing with noticing that she did share and why it was so important. And then that it was kind and thoughtful. So by noticing these behaviors, we're reinforcing the positivity. So we will continue to see these behaviors. So I just want to help you remember that it takes 21 days to create a new habit. So don't feel discouraged if you do not see results or progress right away. It does take time, but if we continue to use this language and noticing when they are making positive choices or being helpful, by using that noticing language, we are reinforcing that positive behavior and will eventually see more of it. So I wish you well and have a great weekend.
Sorry.
Okay, Miss Jennifer, I'll let you take over.
All right. So that was, biggest thing is that, we forget that sometimes it takes more than just once. I have I had a headstrong child. We'll just say that. She was my little redhead and she wanted things done her way, period. Didn't, so finally I was turned on to conscious discipline as a parent. And so I would, I started in, oh, I've got this, I've studied all these books, I've got it. So I would start in with, DNA describing, because she liked to throw little tantrums and she'd just look at me and squall louder, I'm like, okay, where are we going with this one? So I tried again. It takes a while. especially when you've got those wonderful headstrong children. So it does. It takes at least 21 days for habits to form. So you can't expect miracles overnight. Okay. So it does take time that you can, sorry, I'm putting in my next link for you. But just to remember that it takes time, takes patience. You have to breathe. You have to teach your children to breathe. And that's a big thing that gets us through, a lot of us teachers gets us through the day, is breathing before we start anything. You got to take that deep breath, let it out. And I even had, when I was a Head Start teacher, I would have the children in my class do it with me. I think I need a deep breath. Can somebody help me? And so the children would start in with me, and it changed the way my classroom flowed. So it was a big difference whenever I had the children, buying into it as well. So they created habits over the time that they were with me, and they took those with them, and parents actually, started using them at home as well. So
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next video.
all righty.
You know what's normal? Kids acting out in a big way. Or at the other end of the spectrum, retreating when they are upset. Parents are kids' first and best teachers for boundaries, expectations, and structure. So, what do you do in one of these moments? Take a few breaths. Try to notice how you feel. Next, review the scenario and situation. What does your child need in this moment? What may have triggered this response? You may be seeing anger from your child, but is it really hunger? Are they anxious about an upcoming exam? Could they be sleepy or tired? With older children, take time to discuss what happened after the moment has passed. There is power in working together to figure out causes for big reactions. You may create a game plan together. Preparing for an exam ahead of time, sticking to a consistent bedtime, extra snacks in the car. Sometimes children are needy or attention-seeking. Could this mean that she is actually needing one-on-one time with you? Practice time in and spend at least 5 minutes each day of uninterrupted play, or use your strength of curiosity in a conversation. Time in often decreases some of the attention-seeking behaviors and helps you stay connected with your child. Plus, it is fun and you can rediscover the joy of being a parent. There is no way to predict all the times your child will act out, but try to be in the moment and notice what sets them off.
Like, excuse me, I found the Parent Connects on YouTube, and it's a lot of good information. And a lot of it goes in with what we do at Episcopal Children's Services, is using conscious discipline. So a lot of it feeds into that. Biggest thing is give it time, take a deep breath, and remember to share your feelings as well with your children. It's not always about your child's emotions. Sometimes it could be ours as well, that we have to remember that our children see us and how we respond to things. So we need to share that with them as well. Any questions?
Let's check our Q&A. I don't see any just yet. But I think that is some helpful information. I mean, I personally have a 3-year-old that you know, she knows she's the baby, and so trying to navigate that age is different, you know, because the oldest is about to graduate high school. And so that's literally starting completely over. And I don't feel like any child is the same.
I agree.
So you have to, like what I did with that one, I can't do with this one. So just knowing that, you know, reassuring parents that it is a process, and, you know, they're going to act out sometimes. They're going to, because they don't know how to communicate all of those things that they're going through. So I think that that is some helpful information from the videos that were shared. And then question, are there any books you recommend to continue learning about this topic?
Actually, you can actually go on YouTube, and it's Conscious Discipline. And they have a lot of videos on there for parents as well. Conscious Discipline is a program that we've bought into. They actually sell, you know, things that you can purchase, but it deals with the parent side too, because it's not just teachers. And that's why I like Conscious Discipline, is that they focus on parents as well. So go to YouTube, Conscious Discipline. You can watch many. Becky Bailey is the author of Conscious Discipline, and she has lots and lots of videos. Actually, that's even on Facebook now. I saw some really good videos that I was trying to pull from Facebook for training some of our teachers, and I was like, no, I can't get on Facebook, you know. But she has a page on Facebook that is just phenomenal. But there are Conscious Discipline books that can be bought. They're just a little pricey, unfortunately. But I do know that you can get some of the Conscious Discipline books through Amazon as well.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I can ask the question, and I'm just going off of the book question. I think because they make so many books and there's so many books that kids can read, and you know, I wonder if, and you can answer it if you know the answer to it, if there is a book that, say, I as a parent read and I'm like, that is so my kid, you know, and let them read it with me, you know, if they're at that age where they can read and understand and say, you know, sometimes, you know, this is kind of how you act. I don't want to really
Yeah,
say that, but, you know, I don't know, I guess asking them questions about the book, or what do you,
absolutely. I believe it's called My Mouth is a Volcano. And it is the spitting image of 3 and 4-year-olds. Anything that they can think of is going to come out, you know. But that one's a good one. And hang on, let me think of the other one. That's the 2 that I was thinking of. The Way I Feel.
okay.
That one goes through several different emotions. So it like explains jealousy. It explains not having courage, being mad, you know. And I like it because the background of The Way I Feel, the pages reflect whatever emotion is going on, such as with anger and rage. You see lightning storms in the background. So, but it's easy enough that children actually understand.
Okay. Okay. 'Cause I think, you know, sometimes when kids talk about things and they bring up certain things about how they see their friends act, or you know what I mean, and they don't necessarily understand, like, yeah, you kind of know what I mean. And
Absolutely.
I guess at when we're talking about this topic, how would you suggest, I guess, bringing that forward to say, while we're in the moment of talking about and you recognize what someone else is doing, so let's talk about, like, how would I bring that up as a parent per se?
To actually say, have you ever felt that way before? Like you just wanted to stomp on somebody's toe? Say that they was talking about, some in school. Have you ever felt that way? I wonder what makes them feel that way. And that's the big thing, is flipping it back to them, is giving them open-ended questions. Well, why do you think that happened? So that they start to think, oh, well, maybe I did that one time because I was mad at my brother because he wouldn't give me the book I was trying to read. So, and that's the big thing, is bringing it out and saying, have you ever, or why do you think that child felt that way? To kind of get them thinking, and hopefully we'll bring out some thoughts to them and say, the other day I was listening to you and you said something, whether it be in anger or whatever. And do you think that's kind of like what John was doing at school? Just to kind of bring back what they had visited before, and to try to bring that out. Now, if you've got a child that, no, I don't do that, you're not going to get an answer like that.
Right.
But just trying to bring it back to, have you ever, what do you think? How do you think they felt? So that, and how the person that they hurt or had done something to bring them into the light too. It's not just necessarily the person that does the act of wrong or whatever, but also bringing the person, the victim who got hurt in the situation. Well, what do you think Johnny felt whenever Sally stepped on his toe?
Mhm.
So trying to bring it all the way back.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And I also think from one of the videos where she saw her child going through this emotional fit, and it told us to breathe first and find and see where we are as parents. And I
Ah,
think that is so good because, you know, the immediate reaction is, what is wrong now? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Why are you
It's
walking
that.
off? Why are you
Yep.
and I think that's really good for us parents to know, like, okay, it just happened. Now you think about where you are with it, you breathe before you even respond to it. Because it's almost like sometimes as parents, we may feel ourselves taking on that same energy that our child is giving off.
Absolutely. Yes.
And then we react that way.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And that's what teachers, especially in these last several weeks,
Mhm.
and I always tell them, it's okay to feel, kind of insides are shaking up and to feel like you're out of sorts, but it's not okay to stay there. So
Mhm.
take your deep breaths, take your break. If you need help, you call, step out for a minute. If you're a parent and you've got this child that is just absolutely going ape crazy on the floor in the middle of your house, walk
Mhm.
away from them for a minute. Now, I'm not saying leave them there, but leave them for a minute,
That-
take your deep breaths, gain yourself, and then come back and say, I see that you're throwing yourself on the floor and your hands are going like this and your face is going like this. What's going on? So that you're in your own brain and not theirs.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And I'll check the Q&A and see if we have any additional questions because I'm just asking away. So,
That's fun. I'm glad somebody is.
okay. And I guess, so
Yeah,
do
but
you,
no matter what.
redirect, would you redirect the child the same way each time? Or would you take a different stance?
It would all depend on the situation. I mean, if they're full blown throwing a fit, like in a grocery store,
Mhm.
you're not going to be able to reach them at that moment. You may have to physically take them out. Leave your cart. It's okay. They've got people that'll put that stuff up. Take them outside or try to calm them in the grocery store. Now, it's a lot harder because you got eyes are watching you. Trust me, I know. But trying to take those deep breaths. And once a child is watching the adult take a deep breath, they're more likely to watch. And to start to follow along. So if you can get them to calm down in the store, that's fine. But if not, take them out, have them calm down, and say, I told you when we come in that we could not afford or we weren't buying donuts or candy.
Mhm.
It's not the time for it. We've come in for whatever it is, things for supper. Would you like to help mom pick out the things for supper? I bet you can find lettuce. Can you find the lettuce? Or whatever it is you're looking for. Let's see if we can find it on the shelf. So it truly all depends on, number one, the child, because you know your own child. You know how that child's going to respond. Try my way first. 21 days, remember that. But whether your child's going, if your child will be able to go back in the store. You know what I'm saying? If you've calmed them down, you'll know whether you're able to take them back. If not, guess what? We're going to have sandwiches for supper. Or we're going to eat a can of tuna fish without mayonnaise, whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes we as parents have to remember that our children have emotions that we can't deal with yet. They have to. So if we're flying by the seat of our pants and heading to the store, oh my gosh, it's 5:30 almost. So we eat dinner at 6:00. We got to go, 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 go. Your child's not a go, 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 go.
Right.
They're on, it's me, 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 me. So it just really and truly all depends on the situation and then, of course, the act of what's going on.
Understood. 21 days. Parents.
Yes, ma'am. Keep up with it. I'm telling you, it works. It
Okay.
even worked with my husband. That's what I laugh about all the time. I use this on, I have a 19 and a 16-year-old stepsons. I've
Mhm.
never raised boys in my life, and I just got married 2 years ago. So all of a sudden, here's these kids, and I thought, oh God, I started using conscious discipline with them. It works so well.
Awesome.
It's not just for little kids.
So did it take the 21 days or were you able to get them there?
It took darn near 20 with one of them.
Okay. So it
So
doesn't really matter the age. It's just 21 days.
yeah, 21
Okay.
days for a habit to form.
Okay. I think it's, trying to figure out how to come up with those steps of what you will use to do those 21 days.
Absolutely.
Because I think every situation is kind of different. And I'm just thinking about my 3-year-old that literally just turned 3 the end of March, and she loves gymnastics that she just started, but she does not pay attention in gymnastics. It's the craziest thing. It's like she wants to go, and then it's like, but how do I get her from running over to me and saying, mommy, it's like, go back and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Do what they tell you to do. So it's like trying to figure out, what to do in those moments and how to keep redirecting her every time the same type of way, if it's the same behavior that she's displaying.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll definitely check out some of those YouTube videos and
Awesome.
see what I can come up with. And I definitely would encourage other parents that may be going through a similar thing with their kids and they want to figure out how to figure this 21 day and everything is a challenge nowadays. So maybe we could do a 21
Absolutely.
day challenge for
There
our
you go. 21-day challenge to conscious discipline.
yes, yes, and check back to see kind of where it is and where they're at, with it and where we are with it, because
Yeah,
I think if it takes 21 days for them to, catch on and start to do things, we also have to, it takes us probably 21 days too
yeah,
to do it
absolutely.
that many times. And so we would, I guess,
Absolutely.
essentially be learning together. And so that is different. That's different because it's like, I just want to tell you something.
Yeah.
It.
I
Like
understand
21 days, Miss Jennifer, what?
that. I know. I'm not a miracle worker.
Yes, ma'am. But this was definitely very informative, and I definitely appreciate your time and joining us this evening. I'll check the Q&A again and see if we have any additional questions. If not, I won't hold everybody on until 7. And then if they need to get in touch with you for any reason, could you give out your contact information, or if you have it on the screen,
I,
put it up
I
for.
don't have it on the screen. Forgot to put it on there like I did last time, but it is Jennifer, JENNIFER, capital J, .lowe, LOWE, at ECS4, the number 4, KIDS.org, ORG.
All right, thank you so much. And can you repeat it one more time?
I will. Jennifer.lowe at ECS4kids.org.
All right, wonderful. And I don't see any questions just yet. And maybe someone is typing, so I'll give it a second here to see if anything pops up.
We got quiet people tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close us out for this evening. So again, I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And we appreciate your participation. Each week, you are available to join us and connect for more informative presentations and discussions. Once again, I am Tina Folston Hayes, the Parent Academy Specialist for Educational Equity and Outreach for the Alachua County Public Schools. And I look forward to seeing you back here next Thursday for our mental health segment. And that is again at 6 o'clock. So I hope to see you then. Miss Jennifer, thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you.
you're very welcome. And everyone have a good evening.